myself together. Put my hat on. Yeah. Me go ahead and put my hat on. Hey, y'all. This Green Eye Sparkle, baby. The show with her Monday moment thoughts, y'all. Y'all come on in, y'all. Listen, while I'm putting my hat on, get myself together. Child, listen, this weekend, this football was giving this weekend. Yes. I mean, it started early. Now, I missed the early morning. All the early morning, I missed the early morning football. Because I know that we had two teams playing in Dublin, but I didn't catch that one, y'all. It's 12 o'clock on the dot, and I'm sipping on a little coffee and drinking water at the same time on this magnificent Monday. I sure am. Mm-hmm. Child, y'all, I love me some hazelnut coffee. Hazelnut coffee is so delicious. Yes, yes. I hope you all had a great weekend. I know I enjoyed my weekend. Yes, I had a weekend of learning mostly because Saturday I was in the AI training AI seminar that was 12 hours. It was 12 hours, and I would say then some. I logged on to the seminar at 8:45 a.m. By the time I hit 8:45 p.m., I respectfully signed off, y'all. It was a lot of learning, sparklers. I mean, I got a lot out of it. But when I get information like that, sometimes you got to take a moment you got to decompress all the knowledge that you received. So, yeah. Uh, I had to respectfully sign off. Child, y'all saw I had to get myself all the way together now. As I was, because I could hit that live button a little bit before 12 noon, so I had to get myself together on this Green Eye Sparkle Baby, the show with these Monday moment thoughts. Because for the games that I saw this weekend, and by the way, I checked for my NFL updates, and I don't have any. The NFL hasn't uploaded what their recap is. I'm sure they didn't yet. You know why? That game was over after midnight. The Dallas and the Green Bay. That Dallas and Green Bay game ended. It was after 12 midnight. I was gonna go live. I said I gotta give my sparklers a Sunday update. But no, honey. Y'all listen. I couldn't give that Sunday midnight update because let me tell you, Green Eye Sparkle was a little sleepy. I had been watching my football. Y'all know I started off with my week 4 with my Tampa Bay Buccaneers and my Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out. Hi, Freddie. How you doing? Y'all, I appreciate it. Y'all come on in. Y'all come on in. So, yeah, so we were talking about week 4 of the NFL, y'all. And let me tell y'all, honey, that Buccaneers game, it was given. Hi, my friend. I think it says like Ike. I see it say hello. What's up? Hey, y'all come on in, cause y'all know I was supposed to do my Sunday updates. But the football game rolled into the next day. It was already Monday morning by the time Green Bay and the Cowboys finished. Hey, my friends. What's up, y'all? I appreciate y'all, sparklers, because listen, y'all know I was supposed to be on yesterday, but I had to table it because Dallas and Green Bay, they were still playing. I said, now, my sparklers waiting for their Sunday update. And y'all know how I put my flavor in it. And child, y'all, by the time that game was over, I said my sparklers are sleeping or they are done for the day. So I said I'm going to come on today with my Monday moment thoughts. Is that all right with y'all? Is that all right with y'all? Hey, all right. And I appreciate that. Oh, yes, I appreciate y'all. Yes. And I appreciate, I appreciate the compliments and the love. Because, listen, y'all know how we do over here at the Green Eye Sparkle Baby, the show now. Because y'all know, my community, I open it up for a good conversation. Yes, as long as my community know that we stay a respectful community, right? We stay respectful. We agree to disagree sometimes. But baby, y'all listen. Now y'all know we got to get into this tea now by week 4. My Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. Woo! Did any of y'all see the game? Did y'all see the game? Child, let me tell y'all, I was commentating the game I was streaming 3 hours straight. I was over on my TikTok channel. I've been commentating over there for 4 weeks. This was my 4th week commentating the NFL game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so when I tell you guys, I was talking to no end because there were so many twists and turns to that NFL game. Um, I was like, oh, you want to know whose picture is in the background? In the background, that's actually me. I'm actually an actress, a movie director, a content creator. Yes, that's me. I'm a model as well. And so, what you see in the background, I thank you for asking the question. Plus, my ring light. My ring light is in the background of one of them, but the first one where you all see the ring light, that's the movie Obedience. You can find that on Tubi. You can find it on Prime, Amazon, and it's on some other streaming devices as well. And you say, what's your favorite show? Um, Child, I'm gonna tell you what I like. I do enjoy Abbott Elementary, but by the way, also on Tubi, y'all can find me on an episode, television, well, episode. I don't know what they call it on Tubi. It's like a long. It's like there are different episodes, right? On Tubi, you can find me as Officer Bash on season 1, episode 7 of Line 'em Up. I am the officer in that movie. The other picture that's in the background where you see the white angel, that's actually me. That's a short film called Absence of Love. Well, in Absence of Love, I was nominated Best Actress in a Short Film. So I'm going to give myself a little credit right there. Hey, 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 hey. I'm going to give myself some credit. I've been working hard and grinding. So, yes, I was nominated Best Actress in the short film Absence of Love. That's the one where you see me in the background right there. I'm in the white. That's me. My character was Miss Angel. So I'm glad you asked that question, and thank you for noticing. Y'all see everything, my sparklers. Y'all be looking. Y'all be seeing everything. But listen, so one of my other things that I enjoy doing, my sparklers, thank you. I appreciate it. Hi, Tyree. Is it Tyree Scrud? Hi, and welcome, welcome. I appreciate it. Y'all come on in here, and I am so happy. When y'all come on in here, don't y'all forget to hit that like button. Don't y'all forget to hit that like button, cause y'all know I'm gonna come bring y'all the tea, and y'all know I'm gonna bring my energy 1,000. Okay, so I'm gonna get back into this tea, y'all. Child, but listen, y'all, listen now. So I'm gonna get back into my NFL updates, y'all. Week 4. Now, did you all see the game? If y'all this, I'm gonna let me just help y'all understand this game. I commentated the game for 3 hours yesterday. Um, I feel like, in my humble opinion, because I'm gonna tell y'all my humble opinion, okay? I feel like my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I love them. I am a number one Buccaneer fan all day. But when I give commentary, I'm not going to be biased in my commentating. I'm going to give y'all the real deal, Holyfield. I feel like my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were just, I don't know, they were feeling a little rattled. Why? Mike Evans was out on injury. Okay? He was out on injury. They bring back Godwin, number 14 Godwin. Mike Evans is 13, y'all. So they bring back Godwin. He been on, I appreciate the love, my sparklers. I love when y'all come in here and ride with me. Now, y'all complimenting me, but y'all see that like button right there on y'all screen? Y'all hit that like button. Let the people know y'all liking my live. I thank y'all for the compliments, but make sure you hit that like button too. You coming in, I appreciate the love, but y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. So Mike Evans is, he's number 13. Godwin is number 14, right? So Godwin comes in. Mike Evans is out. He's got the hamstring injury. They saying that Mike Evans might not play for 2 or 3 games. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Sparklers, listen. We need Mike Evans. We need Mike Evans. You know, I mean, nothing against Godwin. Godwin is good. Don't get me wrong. But so let me tell you the reason why I'm feeling like I'm feeling about Godwin, y'all. Because he hadn't played. Godwin, I felt like was a little rusty yesterday in yesterday's game. Why? You know, if you haven't played, it's like if you were sick, right? And you had to take off from work and you were sick for a couple of days. When you come back from, when you get off of that sick time and you go back to work, don't you feel a little rusty or wonky? It take you a day or two to get back into the swing of things. Well, that's what I feel like Godwin did, y'all. Now, I know Godwin, see, Godwin went back to practice. He went to practice on Wednesday, right? They examined Godwin. They checked Godwin out. And, you know, they said Godwin looked like he ready to play. I mean, which I agree with. I agree that Godwin was ready to play. Because goodness knows we had to get Godwin back in there if we got Mike Evans out. Child, y'all, we played the Super Bowl. We playing the Super Bowl winning Philadelphia Eagles, and we don't have all of our key players. I was like, what the Sam Hill is going on? I felt like Chris Brown, y'all. I felt like that. I felt like it depends. I said, because you know what? I was asked yesterday. I was streaming live. You know what I was asked yesterday? They said, are you nervous about the game? They said, because I'm Green Eyes Sparkle, baby. Also on my TikTok, they said, Green Eyes, are you nervous about the Buccaneers playing Philadelphia Eagles? And I said, I'm not going to say that I was nervous. I told them this was Saturday night before the game. I said, I'm not really nervous. I said, I'm a little iffy because I knew that we didn't have all of our key players, and it depended on how like they brought Godwin back in. I said it's just gonna depend on how Godwin comes in and plays. Uh-huh. Somebody wanted to know where I'm from. I'm from Tampa Bay. I am from Tampa Bay, and I love my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But so that's what I'm gonna get into right now, talking about my Tampa Bay Buccaneers now. So, anyways, y'all, yeah. So Godwin comes in, and a few of the passes, when Baker was throwing to, Godwin, he didn't complete the pass. I felt like he needed to warm up. He needed to warm up. He needed to get into the zhush. He needed to get back into the energy flow so that he could play this game decently and in order. Okay. And so, yeah, I felt like, after Sunday's game, I really feel Godwin he gonna get back. Godwin gonna get back on track because he has to. Godwin has no other choice. Mike Evans is out on injury. So if Godwin gonna come in on the field, he got to come on that field. He got to come in ready. Where's the tenacity? He needs to come in with grit. The tenacity to get out there and let's get that ball. Let's run it in for a touchdown. I felt like, in my humble opinion, my Sparklers, I felt like my Bucks were a little nervous, and I love my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, gold Bucks. But I felt like they felt pressure because they were playing the Super Bowl winning Philadelphia Eagles. And I don't feel like they brought their whole, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like they came with the energy like they did when we played Atlanta. I don't think they brought that same energy like when they played Atlanta, the Houston Texans, heck, even the New York Jets. I felt my Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a sense of, like energy, like, yeah, we got this. Their energy flow was a different vibe in those first three games. Child, y'all, listen, we get out there with the Philadelphia Eagles, and I felt like they almost, how kids get on the stage and they never performed the first time ever, or even adults. I felt like the Bucks had stage fright. That first quarter looked a hot mess, y'all. I can't even lie. When I saw how the Philadelphians brought that smoke on us and they running game was tight like that, child, they running game was tight like that. The Philadelphia Eagles came out there. The Philadelphia Eagles came to play. The Philadelphia Eagles say, we play now. No opportunity wasted. Y'all like that? Child, no opportunity wasted. They said now. One thing I've been noticing about the last three games that my Buccaneers have won, we have won those games down to the last second, y'all. But let me tell y'all something. That wasn't working with the Philadelphia Eagles. That was not working because the Philadelphia Eagles had an assignment and they understood that assignment. That assignment with the Philadelphia Eagles, it was run that ball right off the bat. Soon as they did that coin toss, heads, tails, child, the Philadelphia Eagles was ready to have a running game like y'all would not believe. Child, I tell you what, I got my whole life on that game. But yeah, I did my commentating. I was doing my little I did my commentating for the whole game. I did it from the beginning to the end. And I was talking nonstop when I was commentating that game yesterday because it was nonstop moving parts. But let's peel back the onion. Let's get into the real tea. Because I got to address this, y'all. Let's get into it. I'm going to sip some water on that before I get into this tea, y'all. Because this disturbed my spirit, too. This disturbed my spirit as well. So let me let me get a little sip of water. Is that all right with y'all? Okay. Let me get another sip, y'all, because y'all know I like to talk. Let me tell y'all what got me in my feelings. That's why I had to sip on my water 2 times. Not one time, but I had to do it 2 times. I was drinking my water probably 3 times my Zephyr Hills. Let me tell y'all what disturbed my spirit and what really got under my skin yesterday. How is it Baker Mayfield throws not one interception? Y'all listen, Baker Mayfield threw 2 interceptions yesterday. What are y'all thoughts about that? I cannot believe that Baker Mayfield threw 2 interceptions. My mouth dropped, y'all. Sparklers, listen. My mouth dropped. I was in a state of shock. How the heck you throw 2 interceptions in one game when we had no interceptions thrown at all in the first 3 games? Sparklers, can somebody help me out? How we throw 2 interceptions in the game with the Philadelphia Eagles where we threw 0 interceptions at all in the first 3 weeks? Like, where we do this at? I'm telling y'all, I think Baker Mayfield was a little nervous. I feel like, he knew that pressure was on. All eyes was going to be on Baker Mayfield in this game because we were playing the Super Bowl winning Philadelphia Eagles. And I felt like the whole team, honestly, was a little nervous against playing the Philadelphia Eagles. But I don't know why. I have one of my TikTok top fans, Captain Dragon, on my TikTok. And, he was like, well, what you think? He said, he said, I don't know. I'm a little concerned about this Buccaneers game against the Eagles. He was like, what are your thoughts? Are you nervous about it? I said, I'm not nervous about it, but I also was thinking like that song Chris Brown sings, it depends. I said, it depends how we play. It depends on how Godwin plays because Godwin took over for Mike Evans. And I know that Godwin hadn't been practicing with the team. Godwin had been out on injury leave himself. Godwin shows up the Wednesday before the game yesterday to the practice squad. So, I'm studying and I'm examining and I'm observing. I said, well, this man looked like, he was rusty. I got to tell the truth, Shane the devil, in my humble opinion. He was rusty. He hadn't practiced, right? So now we expect him to come out here and play. I mean, but that is the expectation. After all, you on the 53-man roster, you got to get out there and play. You got to show us something. But I'm sure my sparklers that, I love Godwin. I love my Buccaneers, but I got to give feedback as I see it. In my humble opinion, I feel like Godwin was a little rusty. Yeah, I know he's got to work, he got to wake up his knees, his elbows, his hands, his feet. We got to get all that warmed up and ready now so we can, continue to lift this work. Until we can get Mike Evans back in, Godwin going to have to step into that pocket, and Godwin is going to have to show up and show out. Now, Godwin, y'all, if y'all are not Buccaneer fans, Godwin is number 14 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Mike Evans is number 13. Mike Evans usually pulls that anchor. That's Baker Mayfield's, one of his go-to guys. The other one now, that I see that he likes, he got a few of them. Shout out to Bucky, number 7. Bucky Irvin. Bucky Irvin, boy, I appreciate your grit. I like to say, this is my acronym for grit, y'all. I say goats ready with intensity and tenacity. Because that Bucky, like I said before on it was, I think it was on Saturday, because I had got off on a tangent about, we don't have a real strong running game, right? And I said, I don't know why it is every time they like to play this, they like to do this call where they pass the ball to Bucky Irvin and they want him to run down the middle. Child, y'all, why they got Bucky Irvin running down the middle? All those guys, all them players right there ready to meet him. And let me tell y'all something. Even the commentators said this yesterday. The Fox News commentators, they were like, the Eagles were in position, and every time we received the ball or Baker Mayfield would pass that ball, they were ready to smash and grab that ball. They were playing with a whole nother level yesterday. I don't know. Is it just me, or did this NFL season kick off with a huge, I mean, the games have been amazing. The NFL games have been off the chain, y'all, this week and I am here for all of it. I think that the NFL games, all the teams are ready to eat. Y'all know that's eat. I think all the teams ready to eat. All 32 teams ready to eat, y'all. And they are bringing that smoke. And so I feel like, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, y'all can't take for granted that y'all can come back up the rears in the last seconds of the fourth quarter and win the games. Because it worked in the first 3 weeks doesn't mean that y'all can keep playing at the last second to get points. Yeah, we got our points. We were catching up. But when you got the strong arm of these Philadelphia Eagles coming in with the intensity that they were playing, these Eagles were playing with a mighty punch yesterday. They were running into our players like, pow. They were running into our players like, they were rattling our players. And so what I'm saying is, for my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, listen, y'all can't be waiting till the last second and thinking y'all gonna win a game. Not when the Eagles were already up. The Eagles left out of here on that first half. I said, I know they are lying. We are not going to get shut out. First, I was concerned. I said, are we going to get 3 points on the board? But yeah, we got the field goal. We got our 3 points. But then, the Eagles, they were bringing that smoke. But what I can say this. I don't think the Eagles scored any points in that second half. It was all Buccaneers. I think this is, child, y'all listen to my humble opinion. I'm going to get in the minds of the Eagles for a moment. I feel like those Eagles said, run that ball, stack those points up in the first half. I feel like them Eagles were saying, stack those points up in the first half. Get all them points up there, and then, y'all, we can ride. I felt like they were saying we can ride in that second half, but let's get the points now. But I kind of, I kind of see where they were going with that. But what the Eagles didn't know and didn't expect was, they didn't expect for the Buccaneers to come back and get them touchdowns like we did. Shout out to the Bucs. Because we got some points now. We got this thing so good, y'all. We had got this thing real, real good. Child, look, the fourth quarter, we were riding. We got 25 points, okay? The Eagles, 31. So look, we lost by 6 points. But see, a W is a W. So the Eagles have walked away, y'all, 4-0. My Buccaneers, we sitting at 3-1. Now, we were on a winning streak, right? We broke history by being 3-0. And my goal for my Tampa Bay Buccaneers was, I wanted to show up and show out and brag about we are 4-0. I couldn't even go brag and boast. Because, child, we don't lost the game, y'all. I mean, they put up a good fight, but once again, the fight was happening in the last quarter. So my feedback to my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I know we are the kings of the fourth quarter. We Teflon in the fourth quarter. We can get them points. But you all have to remember this, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of team strategies, because I watched firsthand yesterday as I was giving my play-by-play commentary. Those teams are coming out solid with running games. They stacking their points in the first half. Those Eagles were running their butts off. But the thing about it was, when we got on offense, when we got on the Eagles defense, they were ready to those Eagles were playing dirty. I felt like it was a dirty game. They were smashing into our players. At one point, one of the Eagles ran right into Bucky. Bucky running with the ball, y'all, and one of them Eagles came in and smash. Ooh. Child, I said, is Bucky all right? I said, now they can't be trying to knock Bucky out. I said, not Bucky Irvin. We need Bucky because Bucky is fast. Bucky is real fast, y'all. And I said, listen, hey, hey, my darlings, how y'all doing on this magnificent Monday? Y'all know what it is. I thank y'all my spot. Look, much love to my sparklers. I didn't come on last night because I was wrapping up, and I'm getting to that one next. I was wrapping up Green Bay and Dallas. So I appreciate y'all love. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was wrapping up Green Bay and Dallas last night. So I was not on. So I appreciate y'all love and y'all coming back, showing me some love today. Y'all all right with me. I appreciate y'all coming back today for Monday Moment Thoughts. Because week 4 of the NFL, honey, it was all the way live. I appreciate the love. Thank y'all. Listen. I appreciate y'all too. Because this week 4 was giving, honey. Let me tell y'all something. I was talking non-stop yesterday. I did 3 hours of commentating on my TikTok page. Y'all go on over there and follow Green Eye Sparkle Baby 100 as well. That's where I do my commentary of the NFL games. I did week 4 yesterday for the Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles, y'all. Child, and it's so entertaining. Y'all have to check it out because it's nail biting. So I'm doing today my Monday Moment Thoughts on my YouTube with my sparklers because I love my sparklers too. So I had to come over here and share with y'all, some of the food, I like I said, I like the way, how my Bucks, how they play, but my Bucks got to understand this. We cannot wait to the fourth quarter to try to gain all our points. That's just, it worked for the first 3 weeks. But when you playing the Super Bowl champions, when we playing Philadelphia Eagles, we can't play like that. We cannot play to the nth degree or power punch in the fourth quarter and do nothing in the first half. We got to bring that smoke, ladies and gentlemen. We got to bring that smoke. So what I'm saying to my Buccaneers, well, I'm still a Buccaneer fan, but I got to give feedback. And like I said, I'm going to talk when we win. I'm a celebrate and give feedback when we win and when we don't win, because this is our first time we did not win. I got to share the commentary about the takeaways from the game. So the takeaways that I want the Bucks to have with this game, in my humble opinion, we got to kick off strong with a running game. We've got to land touchdowns in the first and second quarter, and then if y'all want to do y'all zhush, if y'all want to do that zhush over there in the fourth quarter, y'all by means go for it, have at it. But we cannot not have my sparklers. We cannot have 0 points on the board. We got to have the points on the board. We can't go into the fourth quarter thinking we gonna bring it up the rear and get it in the fourth quarter. Not when you playing a Super Bowl champion team like the Philadelphia Eagles. I need a solid running game, and I need Baker Mayfield to not throw interceptions. Hello. We cannot have interceptions thrown. He hadn't thrown an interception in the first 3 weeks. I feel like they felt the pressure, and I think they were making some odd decision making. Their nerves got to them. But let me shout out Ebuka, and then I'm gonna get on over here and talk about some of these other games. Ebuka, you my dog, Ebuka, you were playing that game. Now you, my friend Ebuka, let me tell you, he is a rookie. And they did bring it back. You ain't lying, Envy. Let me tell you, that's what I was saying. See, you missed the first part of what I was saying. I'm talking about how we did real good now, trying to get it back together. We lost, we were 6 points down, okay? But what I'm saying, Envy, is I'm thinking about how the Philadelphia Eagles, in their mind, they were like, let's do a tight running game. Let's stack these points up. Let's get ahead of it. The second half, I felt like they wanted to take it easy. But what they didn't realize about you never can count my Buccaneers out. My Buccaneers are resilient, Envy. The Buccaneers are resilient and they come with tenacity. So everybody thought that they going to count my Bucks out, right? Thinking that all we were going to have on that board was 3 points. But no, no, no. One thing I can say about my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because I'm a number one Tampa Buccaneer fan, but like I said, when I give feedback about, how we can elevate ourselves, the Buccaneers are resilient. Don't count the Buccaneers out. I don't know why people would try to do that anyways. Y'all, now, Envy, you saw how we got them points on the board in that fourth end, right? All I'm saying is how we play in that fourth quarter. We got to have some front end push too. We can't just keep it all in the fourth quarter. Yeah, you think they still gonna be the Super Bowl winning team? I felt like that too. I was asked. I did 3 hours in the of commentating the Buccaneers and Philadelphia Eagles game on my TikTok channel. I did 3 hours of commentating, and so somebody asked the question, "Who do you think is gonna go to the Super Bowl?" And when the question was asked, somebody said they think it's going to be the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are going. But they said they think it's going to be Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Buffalo Bills. What are you thinking, Envy? Anybody on? Come on in the chat, my sparklers. Who y'all think going to the Super Bowl? I'm curious. What y'all thinking? Yeah, y'all get in the chat with that one because I was like, I don't think it's going to be the Buffalo Bills. I think my Buccaneers going all the way. We just had a little hiccup. Mike Evans got hurt. But I said this before. So you said you're actually a Philly fan. Okay. And you just said you're pretty mad at your quarterback even though we won. And the Soviet comrade said, yeah. Y'all think, okay, yeah. So you mean, you think the Bucks going to be in the Super Bowl? That's what I'm thinking, too. And you a Philly fan, but I appreciate it. Like I said, Green Eye Sparkle Baby, the show, my Monday Moment Thoughts, and on my show on Thursdays, I welcome the great conversation. And you said both sides were playing really good defense. Yes. Yes, both sides were playing really good defense. And by the way, Evan, did you see my Vita Vea? Vita Vea got rattled. Let me tell you something. When Vita Vea had got at that one time and he saw how hard they were playing, Vita Vea, that's number 50 for the Buccaneers. Vita Vea had his hands on his hip. Did you see that, Evie? And then Soviet says, you said, wait. I'm not understanding your question, Sophia. So let me finish. Let me answer Envy's thought. So anyway, did you see how Vita Vea was on the sideline with his hands on his hip? When Vita Vea first went out there, he felt that impact. I said, Vita Vea, I said, what the? Vita Vea was shook it. I said, if Vita Vea shook it, I said, that's what really concerned me. When they showed Vita Vea's face, when he first went out there, child, listen, I got concerned. Let me tell you, I cannot lie. I was getting concerned when I said I'm not concerned until, like I said, if Vita Vea looks concerned, Vita Vea looks shook it, but Vita Vea got it together. Vita Vea said, no, we Teflon. The Buccaneers, we are Teflon. Vita Vea got his tail back out there and sacked. You right, because he sacked that Jalen Hurts. You right. You said you didn't like the way your quarterback was playing. Well, Vita Vea didn't like it either, so he had to sack him. What you say, Evie? Yeah, Vita, yes, Vita Vea. He was having a ball game. Let me tell you, I think he had to brush it off. Yes, he had to brush it off and get in the game. I'm telling you, I was here for it. But just like your point, you said you didn't really like the way Jalen Hurts was playing. I wasn't really feeling the love from Baker Mayfield either. How we gonna throw 2 interceptions? Envy, listen, not one. We had 2 interceptions. I'm like, what the heck is this? I said 3 weeks. 3 weeks we played with no interceptions. I said, what my TikTok name is Green Eye Sparkle Baby 100. For those of you who want to follow me on my TikTok, y'all, it's Green Eye Sparkle, but it's Green Eye Sparkle Baby 100 on my TikTok. Over here, it's simply Carissa, but my show on YouTube is the Green Eye Sparkle Baby, the show. It's this right here. But on TikTok, I am Green Eye Sparkle Baby 100. So y'all make sure y'all follow me over there on TikTok because for 4 weeks straight, that's where I've been doing play-by-play commentating. I report live. doing play-by-play while the Bucks are playing. So, but like I was saying earlier, I talked to no end. Little did I know I was gonna be talking like that for the whole game, from the beginning to the end. But that game had me on edge. Child, that game had me on edge, and I feel pretty good about the game. To your point, Envy, we got them points back on the board. The final score was 25-31. We held yeah, you're right. Our defense kept, honestly, I don't think, let me recall. I don't think the Eagles scored not one time in the fourth quarter. They just had the ball. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they scored in that fourth quarter. It was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers scoring in that fourth quarter. Okay, somebody just said they do have TikTok. Okay, well, good, good. And then Envy, what you say, Envy? Nope, they had to get they had to get a stop every time. We threw three balls to AJ Brown for misses. Ah, yeah. Yeah. And like I was saying earlier, I mean, I think we did the best that we could do. Okay, you say bye, Queen. You sleeping? All right. Well, I'm glad you were on. Go get your sleep, honey. Go get your rest. Yeah. Back to you. So Envy. I totally understand what you're saying, and that's where my concern was. Also, Envy, about even our players. Godwin was out on leave, right? He comes back into the game because Mike Evans is out with a hamstring injury. So I'm that's what really concerned me. I was like, will Godwin, number 14, will he be ready to play in this game yesterday? And I'm going to say this. Yeah, he was ready to play. However, he was rusty because he hadn't been playing this week 4, and he had just gone to practice. They cleared him at practice on Wednesday to play in this Sunday game, Envy. So, I was kind of concerned. I was looking at Godwin's side eye. I mean, he did good. Y'all don't get me wrong. Godwin did good, after he warmed up a little bit, but I feel like I think we could have won the game. I believe in my Bucks, and I know we're resilient, but we have to stop betting on getting all of our winnings in that last quarter. It looks good, but when you got Baker Mayfield, he had to make up for those two interceptions. Those two turnovers hurt us. The two turnovers hurt us that Baker Mayfield, when he threw them two interceptions, that really hurt us. That hurts the momentum of the team. Your leadership is important. I do an analogy. The leadership is important. They looking at Baker Mayfield, to clock and make these right decisions. And then, I mean, I get it. He was concerned so that second interception, he was trying to get the ball out of his hand, because he saw the Eagles coming at him, and he was gonna get smushed. Because the I'm just saying, offense, they weren't coming to protect him like he needed, so he kept running. He was trying to get out of bounds, but at the same time, they was already on him, and it was gonna be a sack. So he threw the ball right into the hands of the Philadelphia Eagles. So we got some work to do. It was one loss, and congratulations, Envy, to y'all Philadelphia Eagles not being 4-0, but we coming back strong. This was the first and only loss that we will have. I'm gonna speak that into existence. This is our first and only loss that we will have now. We are not gonna lose any more games. We're gonna come in strong. Hey, welcome, welcome. Okay, Tejas, you are a new subscriber. Let me give you some love. Hey, hey, hey. And don't forget, Tejas, y'all hit that like button. Y'all like my live stream? Y'all hit that like button. Let me tell you, Green Eye Sparkle works real hard. I love my football, and I love my Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm going to give the NFL highlights to the best of my ability, y'all. But I'm gonna talk about my Buccaneers first. Hey, hey, Envy? You said, yeah, we going to the playoffs. Yeah, we go to the playoffs. Yeah, Envy, we go to the playoffs every year. Now, let me get into the Dallas game. I'm glad you mentioned Dallas, Envy. Child, y'all, listen. Envy, I don't know if you watched that game or not, but let me tell you how this game started out. I said, what is going on? all this smooth. I felt like they were trying to smooth things over because they knew that Michael Parsons was in the building. I noticed the commentators. The commentators, they were doing all this talking, trying to smooth things over, talking about they were talking about, well, this wasn't it was a lot of moving parts about why Michael Parsons could not be with the Dallas Cowboys. And it's not to the fault of Jerry Jones. They kept talking about it's not to the fault. I said, what are they trying to do? What do they call that? They were trying to do like a climate control because we were in the building of Dallas. I wasn't buying that mess that them commentators were talking. Y'all were trying to smooth things over because the Green Bay was in the building of the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Jones was catching some heat. So they were trying to play it cool, calm, and collected, trying to say basically, don't y'all come at Jerry Jones. It ain't all Jerry Jones' fault why Michael Parsons is over there with Green Bay. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put my voice in it. I don't forget anything. I was on, y'all, and I'm going to tell y'all, I was on my IG page, and I saw that press conference, right? Somebody say, go Birds, 4-0, let's go. Yeah, Evans, I'm going to give y'all credit. And I just said congratulations. We got another Eagles in the house, Envy. I just told Envy congratulations on y'all win. We gave it a good fight. Y'all can't say we didn't put up a good fight. So, I mean, we worked hard. And happy birthday. It's Tejas. I apologize if I mispronounced it. Happy birthday to you. But let me get back into it, Mr. Elvis. I just gave y'all kudos. I gave y'all congratulations. Y'all played. I know y'all the Super Bowl winning team. But by the way, my Bucks gave it their all. We played with tenacity. We played with grit. But I hate. You're welcome. Enjoy your birthday, Tejas. But what let me tell you, we played with some tenacity, we played with grit, but let me tell you what really irked my nerves, Elvis, is the fact that, I mean, we were getting all of our points in the second half near the end, and for the last 3 weeks, we've been winning by the last seconds of the game. We cannot play like that when we are playing a strong team like the Philadelphia Eagles. We have to work hard to have a running game. It is important. It is important that we have a running game in place. We cannot play loosey-goosey in the first half. I felt like they were intimidated. I don't want to say intimidated. Now, I want to use the word intimidated, Envy or Elvis. I felt like they were trying to figure out their rhythm without having Mike Evans there. Does that make sense, y'all? I felt like, child, I'm sweating, y'all. I get excited, and this ring light getting hot, too. I get excited when I talk about my team, y'all. I felt like they were trying to find their voice. They were trying to find their rhythm without having Mike Evans there, y'all. That's my humble opinion. Mike Evans wasn't there. We got Godwin in place of Mike Evans. And, Mike Evans was a little rusty. Yep. See, yeah, that's true. And the Eagles, they need to play 60 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? On both sides, you guys are right. The commentators even mentioned they felt like the Eagles weren't playing like the Eagles normally play. That was something the commentators noticed too. And so I felt like my Bucks, I felt like they were playing like they played how they played with the other teams. You can't do that with the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I'm saying? You can't play like that. We have to play by being prepared. You know what I think we need to practice, Elvis and Envy and all my sparklers? I feel like we need to practice this week. They need to be in practice today. No. Don't take no day off. I get they played yesterday, but they need to have their tutti fruities fresh and fruity up in their practice today, y'all. Because let me tell you something. I feel like what they need to practice, and I know that you got all your different coaches, right? I know they got all their different coaches. Oh, I appreciate it. Uh-huh. Yeah. Let me tell you something about this green eye sparkle, honey. Let me tell you. since a little kid, I had. Let me tell you, I have five. Let's see. Let me count my uncles up real quick. My uncle Charles, Uncle Bernard. I got four uncles and a brother. Okay, four uncles and a brother. Right. All I did as a kid was go to football games. That's all I did as a kid was go to football games. Then when I got older, we started going to the college football games. I went to it was like every year in any annual football game, I was at a football game. When I became an adult, I started going to the NFL games. So yes, to your point, all I watch and all I've done ever since I was a little kid was watch football, and I'm here for it. I love football. It just gives me a different vibe and energy, and I love talking about the football, and I love my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So yes, I love my football, and I'm going to talk about my football. But let me tell you what I'm about to say. Now today at practice, I feel like I'm a fly on the wall in that practice. Let me tell you what I would whisper over there in that practice room today. They had a meeting first. Everybody sit on down, have a seat, have a seat. I know where they go in there and how they practice when they have that come to Jesus me, y'all. They be in that little building. It's a real nice building too. They got a like auditorium style little a building where they go in there to have their meetings. I don't sat down in the chair. I don't been over there on the tour, y'all. I love my Buccaneers. I don't been over there. I know where they go sit down and have them meetings, right? But they need to talk. They need to just have a few minutes of talk about, reflecting, because I'm a believer in reflection. You need to reflect on what went well and what didn't go well, right? In order to get better in whatever it is that you do, you reflect, okay, how did we do? All right, you kick off, okay, this went well, you identify your strengths, right? Then you work on what didn't go well that we need to fine tune and strengthen. That's how you become. That's how you become better. And for my Buccaneers, what they need to really reflect on and really talk about, in my humble opinion, child, listen, we need to talk about how do we practice and work hard to build a running game right off the rip. We have to have a breakout run. When you see us play, we don't have a breakout run like these other teams. So in my humble opinion, my Buccaneers need to come out. We need to come out with a solid running game. We got to come out with grit. And let me tell you, when we come running, we got to make sure we blocking and holding without getting penalties. Last week at that New York Jets game, oh, child, I felt like a nerve has been struck. Last week when we played the New York Jets, we had more penalties than I saw ever coming at us. Stop getting penalties. Let's run that game, because I can't stand when a running game about to happen. Here we are. We're getting ready to get the playoff, and then there's a flag thrown. Stop with the flags. Let's play with that grit and tenacity like I know we can, and let's get a running game, period. Child, what you say I should be a coach? I appreciate it because I love me some football. But that's what I feel. I feel like I need to take them to the sideline and say, listen, stop calling these plays where y'all give Bucky the ball, and y'all call this play where he's supposed to run down the middle. How he gonna run down the middle? And he got all these guys all buffed up. They got all these players like, they got all these players in front of Bucky. How is he supposed to run down the middle? No, you throw on the outside. Get on the outside. Get that ball to Bucky on the outside. Because see, when they got that ball to Bucky when he was on the outside, Bucky ran that sucker right on in for a touchdown. All he needs, because Bucky is good and Bouquet is good too. I am loving the heat and the flavor these young men are offering to the Buccaneers. But we got to call plays better. We got to call the plays better where they can run that ball to the end zone. But I'm telling you today, why they're in that practice room, y'all, they need to talk about getting a solid, tight running game. And listen, they need to get out their feelings and understand this too. Remember, I just talked about reflection, right? I just talked about reflection, what went well, what didn't go well. They got to get out their heads that Mike Evans is not there. We got to play this game. Godwin is good, but Godwin was rusty. Godwin had been out on injury. Godwin coming in, but he was a little rusty. He got to get the rust off him. Let's oil him back up. Let's get them wheels turning, right? Don't let his wheels get squeaky. Put the oil on them squeaky wheels. Let him get that running game. He got to run because he all we got at this point until Mike Evans come back, y'all, in my humble opinion. Hey there, Miami. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I'm going to talk about my football because that's what I like. Hey, 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 hey. Yes, yes. I'm trying to tell y'all. Now, let me tell you about this Green Bay, y'all. Listen. Ooh, honey child, y'all listen. That Green Bay game, as I was saying earlier, I felt like the commentators were trying to smooth things over, talking about, well, it wasn't just Jerry Jones' decision. People want to blame Jerry Jones. Well, I'm telling y'all, I was on Instagram. Jerry Jones was in like this little press conference, y'all, and he was talking about he thought the Dallas Cowboys was gonna be a better team without they're gonna be better off without Michael Parsons. How the commentators gonna try to fix this thing up and try to say that, I think they were trying to do crowd control and climate control. Yeah, let me tell y'all something. They trying to have that, trying to calm the atmosphere because people were gonna go ham. They can't keep the people from talking and speaking about what is going on. You know, Jerry Jones did say that on Instagram. I was watching him, unless that was somebody else, a make-believe Jerry Jones, but he even said they were a better team, without Michael Parsons. So Michael Parsons, when he went over there on that Green Bay team and they had played the game, and I can't remember who they played, he said, look at the fans. I love this. He said, look at the facility. Everything is amazing. He gave Green Bay the biggest shout out. Now, let me fast forward back to last night. Commentators, I think they're trying to smooth things over. But, baby, at the beginning, Michael Parsons, the commentators was watching. They were watching, right? They talking about, ooh, they can get messy too. It was the commentators down on the field talking about, it looked like Michael Parsons is not interacting. It looked like Michael Parsons is not interacting with, his former mates, the college team, y'all. I don't got all excited. Like he's not actively engaging with the Dallas Cowboys. Y'all being messy. The commentators on that field were being messy. First and foremost, Michael Parsons was there to play a game. That man had to get in the zone of playing a game and winning a game. So I feel like, in my humble opinion, those commentators out there on the field talking about Michael Parsons is not interacting with his former team members. That was messy. Child, I felt like that was straight up messy. Okay? Oh, I know I do more than football, but today, Miami, I am doing football today because these are my Monday moment thoughts. I'm going to do something. Y'all want me to do basketball? Is that what you're trying to ask me, Miami? Because let me tell you, last year, if you go back and watch some of my episodes, my live episodes on Green Eye Sparkle, baby, let me tell you, I was in the building for March Madness. When the March Madness was here and we had UConn, we had the Gamecocks in the building. I was over there. I was over there. I was over there, child. I was all in the experience. So I think I might do a little basketball. I think I might, let me see about that. Let me see, because I'm real good with the football, and I'm just getting into like the women's basketball. And by the way, but let me tell you, I was over there with the Ballers. It's a podcast with, what's her name? Chenny. She on ESPN. I saw Angel Reese. I saw Jewel. I was over there. I was over there at the Ballers. I was at the live podcast taping when we had the girls March Madness in town. Child, I was over there getting my whole life over there. Because, by the way, I just used some product from, I ain't gonna lie, I just used my Shea Moisture. It was powered by Shea Moisture. I used they soap today, and it gave me a good, clean vibe. So I like your thinking. You know what? You gave me something to think about, Miami. You don't gave me something to think about. I might have to go ahead and really dive in on the women's basketball. I'm gonna get into the girls' college teams and and try to get into the WNBA a little bit more because I love my football. But let me tell y'all, I was here for it now. I was over there when the girls. I did not name all the teams. It was 4 teams, 4 girls teams over here at that March Madness. I know it was UConn. It was the Gamecocks. Was Don Staley. And okay, we got the WNBA on the way. Okay, well, I got to check that out because I was in the audience of the WNBA live podcast. I was there, and child, let me tell you, I enjoyed every bit of it. The interview that Cheney did with Angel Reese was absolutely amazing. Angel Reese came out there looking like a superstar WNBA player that she is. What's her name? Jewel. She's the one that has the Nike endorsement. She came out. It was the WNBA. They showed up and showed out. It was a lot of commentators from ESPN at that live podcast, and I was here for it. So I thank you about that. Yeah, I think I am going to get into that a little bit more. I like that. I like that. So anyway, back to my Green Bay and Dallas game. Green Bay came in with a complete mission. Their complete mission was they wanted to come in and they really wanted to win that game. But child, y'all listen. Child, that game was play by play, play by play. Everybody answering back, everybody answering back. I fell asleep. This game was going so long because after the end of the regulation of the game, it went into overtime, y'all. I said, "Oh my gosh, we going into overtime." I tried to keep my eyes open, y'all. I dozed off. I woke back up because I said, okay, after the game, I'm gonna go on with my Sunday football, my highlights on my YouTube, right? Child, y'all, that game when it don't hit after midnight. I tried to keep these eyes open. Then I woke up. Here it is tied 40-40. Yeah, you right, Miami. That game was tied 40-40. I said, OMG. It ended as a tie. It ended as a tie. So I tell you what, the teams were teaming yesterday. The teams were teaming and the teams were playing. I know Jerry Jones was nervous and shaking because if the Dallas Cowboys would have lost that game, boy, they were going to try. Today, it would have been memes galore. They were going to talk about that game. So it ended up. Miami, you sucked us. But yeah, they were gonna talk. They were gonna talk. And what I did like, let me tell y'all, I appreciate Michael Parsons. After the game was over, because he had to keep his head in the game. I don't know why the commentators were being so messy. He's not talking to his former teammates. He's not. Yeah, he had to. He was focused. He was trying to get. He was on that bicycle. You got to get in the zone for a game. But guess what he did after the game? He was over there talking to Diggs. He was showing Diggs so much love. They embraced. I don't know what he was talking to Diggs about, but he was talking to him. He showed them some love. Is a tie better than a loss? You know what? I don't know. I felt like somebody needed to win the game. I truly felt like, when they go into overtime, what you think, Miami? This is what I'm thinking. When a team goes into overtime, and I get they got these new rules now about, when they go into overtime, each team has an opportunity to get a touchdown. Well, guess what? Each team got 40 and 40. When it comes down to that level, I feel like the NFL going to have to write some new rules in place. Let them play again. Let that game keep going. Oh, yeah, for the Cowboys it is. It was better to be in the tie than to lose. Yeah, the Cowboys had a lot they had a lot on this because if I recall correctly, before this tie, wasn't the Cowboys like 1-3? Green Bay, I think, was sitting at like 2-1. So the Cowboys, they needed this. Uh, but what y'all thinking? Do you think if there's a tie in overtime, do y'all think that they should, keep going until the tie is, until they break the tie? What's y'all input? I'm curious. What y'all thinking? I feel like, in my humble opinion, a tie needs to be broken. I mean, I don't know. That's just me. What y'all thinking? I know that the NFL, they change up these rules. They got new rules in place, a lot of regulations, and they'll throw a flag now if how the players used to get in the other face of the other player, like, how you like me now? Well, they gonna call a flag for taunting. You can't taunt. You can't do none of that no more. I said they trying to take all the zhush. They're trying to take all the zhush out the games. I'm like, They can, it's just all in fun. They do a little eat. They don't want them doing that in front of the players. But I say this, but they allowed the other player to be all on top of the head of my Shiloh Sanders when we were in preseason. But now they're going to throw a flag for taunting. Okay, did I just digress? Let me get back on track. You said they already changed the rules for overtime. I know. I know. They just changed the rules for overtime. They just changed it to, you know, both teams now have the opportunity to get a touchdown. I know they just changed the rules, but I feel like, in my humble opinion, don't just end it at a tie. Let them break the tie. I guess that's too much. I guess a game will go all night. Point in case, it was already after midnight. It was already after midnight when they when they went into the 40-40 tie. So I guess you're right. I guess you said let it be. Let it be. Let that tie sit. A tie is a tie is a tie. Okay, I feel you, Miami. I feel you. All right, so we just gonna let them in. We're gonna let them in that game from last night at a tie, y'all. All right, but let's get into the other team. Now, I did not watch this game right here, but because it came on after the Bucks and the Eagles, but the Kansas City Chiefs, they beat the Ravens 37, Ravens 20. What y'all thinking about that? They can't, because Kansas wasn't doing too good. I was shocked at the way Kansas was playing, but I'm even more shocked that the Ravens was kind of low scoring against the Chiefs, because, people had been putting the running game on the Chiefs, like the Chiefs weren't catching a break. The Chiefs needed this win, too. The Chiefs needed this win. So what happened? Anybody see this game, Kansas City Chiefs and the Ravens? I didn't see it. I just know that Kansas City won 37 and the Ravens 20. Who saw that game? Because that game right there was interesting. That game was interesting, too, because the Kansas City Chiefs, child, y'all listen, they needed to win that. I mean, they've been having, every year, they've been having good winning streaks. They go to the playoffs, they winning. But, yeah. Oh, the Ravens is a bust this year. Yeah, something is going on. Something is going on. The Ravens, I'm shocked at how they playing. I don't know. I mean, because Kansas, they weren't playing their best either. So I just knew that the Ravens was going to take Kansas. I just knew the Ravens was going to take Kansas. But, child, please. Kansas beat them. Kansas came back and won that game. Oh, true that, true that. The defense is weak on the Ravens, huh? Oh. Oh, yeah, they gonna have to tighten up that defense. And they ain't got no secondary. It's another team that's real weak, and they said they entertaining, bringing on right now. They trying to recruit and get some more people on. They even opened up practice. The 49ers. The 49ers started hosting people to come in and do some practice, because, they trying to build up their team as well. Shiloh, thank you, 49ers, for inviting him over. They invited a few people over to their practice squad because, I guess they trying to beef up too. That defense got to come in strong. Yeah, they have former Pro Bowlers, but it's not working. It's not going to work if it's, what I say, it's not, you can have all the best of the best players, the Pro Bowlers, everybody. But they got to come together as one team. They got to come together with a solidified play. They got to come together as a stronghold. Yeah, the 49ers got a lot of injuries all over the place. And yes, sir, and to your point, they got a lot of hurt players. And guess what they did? They opened up to entertain players to come in for their practice squad. So, the 49ers might be doing some trading. They invited Shiloh in, because you know what? Shiloh, I think, would make a very good safety. He just got to get some more practice in. Bring him in on the practice squad. Let him get some oomph in. But I really didn't want Shiloh to leave Tampa Bay. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Shiloh is still here in Tampa. He already shared on his YouTube. His lease is up until December. But what I appreciate about Shiloh, he has, even in the preseason, he is going around showing love to businesses, to theme parks. He goes to restaurants. He tries their food. He gives reviews. And he's been a breath of fresh air in the Tampa Bay area. He really has. He even went over to Gatorland. I thought the child was gonna get gobbled up by a gator. I don't play with gators. I don't play with the alligators. I don't play with the crocodiles. I don't play with none of them either. But listen, y'all. So yeah, Shiloh, I think he made an impact. I know we are stacked heavy. I don't think we don't really need his position necessarily, but you never know. See, to the point of the 49ers. The 49ers got injuries all over the place. And guess what? Now they like, wait a minute, they almost like scraping. They got to find people to get ready to take the field. Cause see, once an injury is an injury. Once that injury is, your player is out. So what you gonna do? It's like strategicness, right? You gotta be strategic. I said this, I think, was it 2 weeks ago? Let me tell you what I said 2 weeks ago. I said we got to have practice squads ready, and I was particularly talking about my Buccaneers when I said this. You got to have a practice squad ready as if they were already on the 53-man roster. We don't look. You say, Shallow, he got to really work on his game and not his stream. Well, yeah, he got to work on his game, and I just said that. I just said that, Miami. I said, now Shallow, he's got some good moments, but he can become better, right? Shallow has strengths, and he has, areas to work on. If he's on a practice squad, he can tighten up. But what I was just about to say, though, Miami, I feel like we have to stop looking at a practice squad as just that, a practice squad. That practice squad should be actually called the 53-man roster loading. Don't call them a practice squad. Call them the 53-man roster loading, because they really should be practicing with a grind. They really should be practicing with an understanding that I am on the 53-man roster. Don't look at them as no practice squad, because these players are getting hurt. It's only week 4. Y'all listen, it's week 4 and the players are getting hurt. They got to come out here Teflon. I feel like, in my humble opinion, they got to come out here tough. They got to come out here strong. Why? All the 32 teams got a different understanding and understanding the assignment of these games. So we got to bring that heat. We got to bring that heat and have a solid 53-man roster loading. That's my humble opinion. Oh, they call it the next man up. Okay. Well, okay, the next man up. Okay, well then okay. Next man up. Okay, I feel it. I think I even heard one of the commentators say that. Okay. Next man up. But in my humble opinion, I'm gonna call it that 53-man roster loaded. Next man up. Okay, I receive it. But I can tell you, this week 4. In week 4, we got a lot of teams with injuries. But you know what I say with my Buccaneers, we resilient. We got hurt players, but we resilient. We gonna come back strong. We gonna do this. We gonna bring the smoke. We gonna do this. In my humble opinion, I think my Bucks, to somebody, I think it was Envy who said, yeah, we going all the way. We going into the playoffs. Our defense is good. Our defense is strong. We just need to have a tighter running game. We just got to bring that smoke. I was checking for NFL highlights just a moment ago, and they weren't uploaded or updated at the moment. Let me see if they talking. Let me see if they mentioning anything about tonight. Let me see if we got anything. No, we don't have anything yet. Not according, because usually I get notifications. Nothing has dropped yet. But anyways, y'all, I've had a great time with my sparklers. I had to come on over here and give my Monday moment thoughts with some great games last night. And I didn't see Jalen Ramsey fake a hamstring injury. What? Child, the shenanigans of it all. You know what? You can actually tell. I mean, in my humble opinion, I knew Mike Evans was hurt with a hamstring injury. Miami, let me tell you about when we were playing the New York Jets. Mike Evans, he tried his best to play it off, but he started wobbling a little bit, and then it got worse. He kept it strong. He was trying to stay resilient. I was like, there's no way. I said something wrong with Mike Evans. I said, look how he walking. You could tell a real injury. Yeah. Okay, I really got to see that one in the third quarter. Okay. But I tell you what, sometimes you could tell when somebody's really, really injured. And I know my Mike Evans, he was really hurt. I could tell. Then when they had him walking, he wanted to walk off that field. He wanted to show face. He wanted to, he wanted to show hard. And I like that about Mike Evans. I got to check out Jalen Ramsey. I thank you for that, because I'm gonna check that out. Listen, I've had a great time. I gotta run my sparklers. Y'all gonna see me again. By the way, I'm always here on Thursdays now. I'm on Green Eye Sparkle, baby, the show. Y'all catch me Thursday night at 7 o'clock. All right? All right. In the meantime, in between time, y'all take care. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to share my YouTube, y'all. Don't forget to share. I appreciate this good conversation today. Hey, because week four was all of that. Week 4 was all of that, y'all, and a bag of chips. I enjoyed myself. All right, y'all. Be easy. Bye.